Right, let's start now.
Okay. What are you doing?
I've already done the clap for the
okay,
thing, so
hi.
I don't need one.
We're having such a busy day.
Yeah.
But I'm into it.
Yeah, same.
And I'm excited to do the podcast because we're back in our studio again.
Yeah, where were we last time?
We were in Manchester.
Cool. Were we?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, we were in the loft.
Yeah, we were. That was a nice place.
That was a lovely place. We had a great time, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I've got incredible period pains. Sorry to keep talking about it, but I do.
Yesterday
was
the worst day that we've had as a collective
in a long time.
Like 6 months probably. And for you personally, it looked pretty desperate.
Yeah, we were both like not in a good way. I was in like so much pain that I couldn't really move or like stand up straight. So I was like in bed all day. And you were mentally in a bad place.
Yep.
So we were the two things, physically and mentally.
Down the toilet.
Down the absolute shitter.
And they combined into
Just bad atmosphere.
Very quiet household.
Poor Freeds. We were just like... Also, like, I totally understand you, and I know you so well, but, like, I couldn't help being like, are you okay? Are you okay? All day. And you were just like, yeah. And it was just like, I know that you're not. And you obviously didn't want to talk about it, but I couldn't stop asking.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to, like, I wanted to take some of the weight off in your head, but obviously you, like... didn't want to go into it because it was like you're feeling too wobbly. It
was just like I was not ready to talk about it because I was feeling so weird.
I'm sorry that I was pushing.
No,
because I felt
it's fine.
you being like stop
it.
asking, but it was like silent house. I was in bed, he was at the table. I was just looking at him like seeing that you were being hard on yourself and getting in your head about stuff, and I wanted to just try and help you, but I couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it must be quite frustrating, really, for me being like that.
I mean, it's totally fine. You're allowed, like, we live together. You can do what you want. I just love you, and I knew you were being hard on yourself for like having a bit of a like quiet day, and it's like it's the freelance anxiety that you had, and I just wanted to be like, be easy on yourself, go to the gym, chill. But like you were in the mindset of like, just keep trying, you know?
Yeah.
Which I really think is like, I was proud of you for like cracking on.
Thanks.
I wanted to be like, just get into bed with me and let's just write the day off.
Yeah.
But I know sometimes that makes it worse.
Yeah. I felt like if I can just push through feeling like this, then I might feel better after. So that's good.
We got through it, baby. I love you.
I love you.
It's just so tough when you're both down.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Like,
thumbs down. It generally means bad.
No, I mean like it means something sexual.
Does it?
Oh, doesn't it? Being like, or whatever.
I don't think
My dad
so.
watches these. Let's not.
Yeah.
My dad's obsessed with our podcast and watches our reels.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway. Shall I shut the... Oh, it's too hot to shut the window, but you might hear background noise. Sorry. Shall we read out...
It's a working studio.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, grab that.
I'm going to get my phone.
Check that we're still recording, maybe.
Yeah.
Great.
What do you think about that?
Don't like that.
That was funny. Do you have anything else to say? I'm going to Greece tomorrow.
Yeah, Rubes is going to be away for a week, so I was like, I don't think either of us really want to do the podcast today, but
I'm into it now. We're talking about it.
Yeah, but we've got to get one.
We've had a very busy day, and it's like, but I love the podcast. It is a good idea to do it today. So that when I'm away, you can
work on it.
Okay, first off, I just want to say that we got a message from somebody. Okay, this is just like a gassing us up message. Can I read it out?
Yeah.
Or is that... Okay. So last week we spoke about the person who... Oh, was it last week? or the time before, we were talking about the person who, no, we were here, so it must have been 2 podcasts ago. The person who was 25 and new to dating, and we were like, do you remember we were like, that is not your story, like, have fun. And we were like, the whole question was about how they were going to navigate, like, never have had a relationship.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
They wrote back to us, which I love when people do, like write in after we've spoke about your question, saying, hey, again, I'm the person who the last time sent the question about being 25 years old and new to dating. I have to say your conversation really helped me to get started and most importantly, take the pressure off the whole dating life that I had been super scared about. So thank you so much. And a little update. I've gone on 2 dates so far and both of them have went super well. And I feel like now I'm starting to really enjoy dating.
So sick.
Oh my God, I never thought I'd say that, but a lot has changed in a few weeks. If you hear the right words in the right moment. Huge thanks to my dating gurus.
That's us.
I just think
that's
so, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for sending that in.
I just think that's so nice that I felt like I didn't even know if we helped that much with that one.
Oh, yeah,
we were just like,
yeah.
You go.
Yeah. We didn't really do any, like, physical dating advice.
No.
Because I am not the man to give it. I can't believe that I have decided to make a relationship podcast.
I know, it's so
the
jokes.
most awkward,
I didn't know
weird,
that's what this
nerdy
was.
dude. Yeah, it's kind of what it's turned into, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so not us, though. I don't really know why.
Yeah. Well, that's sick.
Yeah, I love it. So thank you for writing in. Oh my God, also, someone else wrote in about last week's one.
What was that?
Making it worse.
What, making it worse?
Do you remember they told us more gossip about the question?
Oh, yeah, I actually screenshot
Shall I read that?
on there. Yeah, just a follow-up. Like, you have to watch all the episodes now,
this
otherwise
might
you
not
don't
make
get the
sense.
follow-ups. No, I think it's good.
Okay, so last week when we were in Manchester, we spoke about the really like stressful, confusing question about the
like my
person whose ex cheated with their ex, and then they trauma dumped on them, and then now they're back together.
Back with their ex again.
And they wrote in.
I think we can't really explain the whole situation again, but if you listened last week, then you'd understand this extra bit.
You didn't send it to me.
Did I not?
No, they basically said, like, just to add a bit of extra gossip to that, the ex cheated with... Oh, I'm confused.
I knew we wouldn't be able to say this without
the ex cheated with their best friend. So you know the question we spoke about last time?
That's not helpful. It needs more
Should
context.
we cut this bit out?
Let me try.
Oh, it's so shit.
Let me try and say it.
Okay.
So the person who wrote in, it was their ex had been cheated on by their ex.
No, this is stupid. Whatever. Whoever wrote that in, thanks for telling us, because we were like, we actually couldn't believe that part of the story.
Basically,
we can't put this in. I'm moving on. Okay. Everyone's just going to be like, shut up. Okay. Let's get another question for today. Okay. Do you want to read it out, baby?
No, you go.
I've been reading them out every time.
I quite like it when you read it.
I want you to.
All right.
My mouth's also really dry and I need to get some water.
Cool. Okay, this is a good question. Do you two ever lie to each other? And if so, how do you overcome them when they unravel? P.S. Absolutely love what you're building. I gas this pod so much to my friends and fam. I think it's actually at a point where it's getting weird. Keep the content coming. Love that.
I thought you meant we're at a point where we're getting weird.
Yeah, thanks. Keep sending this
why
around.
You're holding this?
It just feels quite rock star.
if you're listening to this and you're not watching, Lewis like holding all the wires with his hand.
It's very like I'm going to do an around the world whip with the mic and catch it. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what that means. I'm not an emo. Okay. Do you want to go first with this about lying?
Yeah. Do we ever lie to each other? Such a good question. Do you ever lie to me?
Probably. I feel like I lie. I tell white lies.
Yeah, I was just about to say
I don't
tell white
lie.
lies
Like
as
we
well.
can't start the thing by saying we lie to each other. It's like we tell each other everything, but I definitely do white lies because I know you're going to get stressed and worried about things that I've done in terms of like work or like, it's such a boring answer, but I'll be like, you'll be like, oh, did you put double bubble wrap on that? Or like, did you make sure you checked that? And I'll just be like, yeah. When actually I didn't. Because it's just like, what's the point in saying no? You're just going to get stressed.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, fair.
I feel like I'm protecting you of that lie, even though that sounds like gaslighting.
Yeah, same. My main lie is you being like, you saying, are you okay? And me saying yes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which I actually do all the time.
Oh my God, you lie all the time about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or like, he'll pick me up from somewhere, or like won't have seen each other, and I'll be like, did that thing go okay? Or like, how did it go? Or like, what's happening? And he'll just be like, it was great, yeah. And it's like completely lied.
Yeah.
And then we'll get home, and 3 hours later, he'll be like, it got cancelled. And I'll be like, what? And he'll be like, I didn't go. And I'm like, why didn't you just tell me the truth when I asked? And he's like, we were going out for dinner, I didn't want to ruin it, your mum was there, whatever. I did, like, you almost want to protect the energy of the day, and it's like,
sometimes I'm even protecting my own energy because I'm not ready to talk about it, so I'll just be like, yeah, it's fine. I would but like if you dug into it, then I would never
it's when I
go
go
like
okay.
deep into a lie.
No.
It's just like, if it's something that can just be blasted over and we talk about it later, I'll go for it. But I've never told you a like considerable lie. Do you know what I mean?
Neither. I feel like I wouldn't be able to, because I would have such anxiety about the lie.
Yeah.
Like when we do like surprises and shit, it's we'll lie to protect the present. But yeah, I don't know. When we first met, I feel like I probably lied a bit.
Yeah.
To like
maybe.
impress you and stuff.
Yeah, I said I went in the sea a lot. Oh, did I? No, you did.
Yeah, that wasn't a
Something
lie.
like that.
I feel like you might have.
I feel like on Hinge we were like making ourselves
lying.
sound cooler.
Yeah.
But luckily I love you anyway without the lies.
Wow, me too. I feel like, we don't. Do you have low blood?
Maybe.
Let's pause.
No, let's carry on, but I'm just going to have some Coke.
Okay.
If I can work out where it is in the room, it's there.
Oh, okay. I don't think we have any, honey, do we?
We do, yeah. I have some.
Right, okay. The thing with lying is tricky. Like, sorry that we're not very interesting to say that we lie to each other. I think lying is being okay with lying to your partner. I think is where there's a bit of an error, because I get like doing it spare of the moment. It might be a lie, like maybe you're out and your partner's text you like, is your ex there? And you've said no, just to like make sure that you have a nice time, you know? Or like,
I wouldn't do that.
no, I'm not saying I wouldn't do that either, but
cool.
I'm saying I can see how you would just lie. Or like, oh, did you pay £300 for that? And you're just like, no, like, you know?
Yeah.
But then going home after doing a lie like that, that's where I think if you're okay with still keeping that, then you've got a problem.
Sure.
I think it should be like in your head that you've lied and you need to tell the truth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then you can just become, then there's no trust, because if you're lying, chances are they'll probably be lying too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by
Agreed.
that?
I'm feeling very spaced out because I think I've got low blood sugar. So actually, I am going to
pause
and I'm going to check my blood sugar.
Let's do this so you know when to.
We'll do it on the way back. I'll do it anyway.
Wait, what do you mean on the way back? My sweet man has diabetes and he had low blood, so we had to just take a little break.
But now I'm better.
Well done.
And I had some shreddies. And here we are.
And here we are. All ball back to carrying on talking
Ball
about lying.
back together. Did you say ball back?
I did, and I said all back together.
I'm going to run that back.
Run it back. Okay.
Run it back.
So, do you ever, like, shall we carry on with what we were saying? I can't remember what we were saying.
Yeah, we were talking about lying, but
Yeah.
I think we're almost there, really.
So, the person...
Do we ever lie to each other? We kind of said no, and then you sort of said, I could understand why someone would lie in a club about their boyfriend being there. Do you want to clarify what you meant by that?
Oh, so the other part of the question was, how do you overcome them when they unravel? It so depends on what kind of lies you're
Yeah.
saying. Like, if it is like a flippant lie and then it's become a thing and you're stuck in it and it's been a few weeks and you feel like it's turned into this big thing, then just be honest and be like...
Communication is key.
Communication is key.
Like, how
just
about
be like,
you
I
just
lied, and tell them why you lied, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think we've had... I can't really think now, but I think we've had moments where you've been like, look, actually, that did happen. And I told you it didn't, but it did happen. And then you always explain. And by the time you finished explaining why you lied about it, I'm like, cool, thanks. Like, I understand.
Yeah, fair.
Context.
I think that's like anything. Oh, yeah, some context is always good.
Yeah.
Just like anything that we ever butt heads about is like, if you just explain your reasoning for doing something, it makes it easier, doesn't it?
But like getting into the habit of lying isn't good. I'd love you to write back to us and give us some more... Like, I'd love to talk about this a bit more in terms of your situation.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to, like, I'd love to know more about your... Because I'm finding it hard to, like, give.
Yeah. It's like, what is your experience with this? And...
You shouldn't lie.
Yeah, tell us more.
Basically.
Yeah, don't lie, basically. Next one?
Next.
We've got, like, 6.
Okay.
There were a few good ones from last week, I think, that we didn't say. Mm-hmm. So, let's have a go now.
Okay. Hey guys, banging pod. Thanks.
Thank you.
Most authentic peeps online I've found ATM. We're lying. I'm joking. I just snotted on the thing.
Come on.
Sorry.
Tell me the bloody thing.
I'm currently seeing this guy and he told me that he used to be in love with this girl who then rejected him. Then they moved in together and got a cat. Sounded like a bit of a relationship to me. 7 years down the line, they're still friends. However, he's worried about me meeting her. I'm not. I've got nothing to lose. Let's meet the lass. However, do you think I have something to worry about? So let's just go back. So you're seeing someone and he told you that he used to be in love with a girl. Then she rejected him, but then they did move in together and got a cat. And he's like, we weren't in a relationship. And he's worried about you meeting her.
It's
do you want to go first?
Have you seen those memes that are like when you're with the girl who says she's best friends and there's nothing going on?
100%. Or it's like the one that he told you not to worry about.
Yeah.
And she's like,
and it's like, I made him lunch because you didn't make him any lunch, so I've been making him lunch.
Yeah, I've been making him lunch every day. Where did we see that?
It was on Instagram.
It was on
think.
Instagram. Yeah. I don't know about the fact that he is worried about you meeting her. Like you, I love your vibe. You seem very confident. Like, yeah, why you're going out with him? Like, why would it be? Like you're seeing him. Sorry. Like, why do you care? If you're confident and you trust him, great. Yeah, meet her. Like, more the merrier. Let's like hi. I don't.
But why is he
uncomfortable?
That's what
I can find. That's what's weird.
I do find that boys are just uncomfortable with things like that.
I mean,
maybe it's just a guy being like, oh,
it's a bit awkward.
Like, let's not. Just
he might not be as liberal as
together.
you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just merging these things might be annoying.
Maybe that's not a red flag. He might just be a bit awkward and can't be bothered.
Also, maybe he just like knows that girls can be bratty with each other.
Sorry. Okay. You've obviously included the part where they rejected him.
Oh yeah.
So does that mean that you're worried about the fact that he was in love with her and she rejected him? Like, that's obviously been included in the story for a reason.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I mean, moving in together and getting a cat, they were in a relationship. I don't know why he's trying to tell you they weren't, because that is. Yeah. But I don't know why.
I also wonder why he's brought up the fact that she rejected him.
It
obviously means enough for him to say it.
He might still be hurt about it.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but I do think it's weird that he's like trying to like hint that it wasn't a relationship. It's like, you're allowed to have been with other people. Like, why are we shying around the fact that you were together and you had a cat? Like, that's cool. There's nothing to be like, it's not weird. It's not like he was allowed to do whatever he wanted. So
I wonder if he's been given the space by the person who's written in to say things like that and be cool with it.
What do you mean?
They sound like a fairly liberal person, like writing how they've written. I'm sure they wouldn't have minded if he said that he was with someone and got a cat with them.
I know. Also, 7 years down the line, so this is 7 years ago we're talking, they're still friends, however he's worried about me meeting her.
Maybe she's a fucking bitch.
Whoa. Whoa.
Maybe she's horrible and that's why he doesn't want you to meet her.
It's not about, I'm sure it's not about you.
Yeah.
It probably is about her. But like, I mean, okay.
You don't have
know.
to have been in a relationship with someone for them to be like clingy and weird about you.
He might be setting the scene like, well, we weren't even really together and like da-da-da, because he might be a bit embarrassed. Like, you know, because he's being like... No?
In what way?
Just like saying like, oh, we weren't really together. And you're like, but you had a cat. It sounds like you were. And he's like, no, not really. Maybe he's a bit embarrassed about the whole thing because he doesn't know how she's going to act.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? He might be playing it down because he doesn't really know how it's going to go when you meet her.
I think playing it down is a very classic thing for guys to do.
Why? Who cares if you're with someone? Like, it's actually attractive.
Well, I would say that he's probably worried about saying something that is going to upset you, the person who wrote in. So he's playing it down.
I mean, in terms of your question, I don't think you have anything to worry about. He could just be being awkward. I think the bit that I'm finding confusing that you might want to question is like, why... I've lost what I was going to say. What was I going to say?
Why is he worried about her meeting him?
That's it. You can literally say to him, like, you seem really worried about it. Why? What's she like?
It's obviously something. Yeah.
Because you should never feel like you have wobbles about, like, you should never feel weird or worried about things if you're seeing someone. You should be able to say to them pretty much anything, I think.
Yeah, bring it
so
up.
Bring it up.
If you're worried about something, just bring it up.
Yeah. I also don't know why you have to meet her. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
I don't think you don't need to prove anything. Like, if he's worried about you meeting her and you don't know her, like, why? Do you know what I mean? It's a bit confusing.
Yeah. Maybe they're, like, in the same friendship group and it's necessary.
It's never as bad as you think, though. Like, he's probably like, oh, it's going to be awkward and all this stuff. And it's like, you seem like you're just going to be like, hi. You know?
Yeah, weird. Again, maybe we just want a bit more context.
I know. We want to know more.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you have nothing to worry about, I don't think. I don't think that's weird.
I don't think, like, he's cheating on you.
I mean, we have no idea, but I don't either.
Yeah, no, I don't get that vibe just from this. I think it's a dude, like, just not wanting to say anything that's going to upset you, probably.
He's also being honest with you, telling you he was in love with her. So why is he... You know what I mean? We could have got this totally wrong, and he could be, like, trying to make you feel stressed and, like...
Maybe he's a toxic man.
Maybe he's being toxic, being like, I was in love with her and, like, I'm a bit worried about you meeting her, like... You know what I mean?
Let's not put that into this person's head.
No, I don't think that's what's happening.
Nah, neither.
Okay, next. We're really rolling through these. Okay. I have been a Green voter. This is a bit of a political one. Cool. Do you want to do this one?
Oh, yeah, sure. I know nothing about politics.
Yeah, neither do I. I have been a Green voter and party member since I was 18. My girlfriend has always been pretty... I can't even read this word.
My girlfriend has always been pretty.
Apolitical?
Yeah, sure.
And not really engaged with current affairs, but she said recently that she was thinking of voting Conservative at the next election. Since she said this, a lot of our conversations and most of our arguments are surrounding political issues, okay? Should we park the politics or try to resolve it? Dating a Tory voter would be low-key so yucky though, lol. That's true. We never talk about politics on here.
No way.
Because it gets a bit tense. But I feel like we can take some parts of this question and break it down.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, Mr. Jones?
I would aim to leave the political stuff in the basement. Do you think?
I mean, what if you, like, spend 5 years with them and then they're, like, really...
90% of girls on Hinge, when I was on Hinge...
Such a, like, what are you going to say? It's just such a generalisation.
No, I'm
90%. Okay, what's the next sentence?
We're fucking fit.
Probably didn't swipe for you because you're a freak.
Should I cut that out?
90% of girls. Yeah. No, I mean, no. Tell me what you're going to say. It depends on what your next sentence is if we cut this out or not.
90% of girls had one of their things as I would never
date a Tory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think it's quite a smart thing to put in your thing, just to like
get rid of all the dudes who have their like holding a carp in the photo.
Okay, so you think they should just swerve conversation and continue down the road? To be honest with you, it really depends how important this is for you. Like, people have make or break things that that's going to be a real big issue later down the line. And if they, you know, if you're getting vibes that you're going to really disagree with their political views, which kind of do drip down into just other views and them, then like you don't really want to spend 5 years with someone and then turn around and them say something and you be like, oh no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I do think burying your head in the sand can be quite difficult.
That's true. I guess it depends, like, how.
It sounds like you're really into this.
Them. Like,
yeah.
I think you can probably tell how, like, for what reason someone thinks they should vote Conservative, which I have no idea. Like,
I mean, I feel like you should probably figure out what their morals are and what their views are in a general sense.
Yeah, but then saying that, I thought I would never date anyone who wasn't vegan.
It's so true. I forgot that completely like ties in.
Yeah.
Like, we have different views about veganism. We haven't spoken about that in a while on here, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
We disagree. I don't follow your views entirely with that, but we've managed to like figure out a compromise, and for Lewis to kind of make peace with it a bit in his head. I don't know if I'm speaking too far. We've kind of just looked the other way a little bit. And we're figuring out.
We've like made some adjustments.
Yeah. And we're figuring out the best way of like raising our children and how we're going to carry on.
That's a whole other thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but we're openly talking about how we imagine that to look with both really different views about veganism. So like it kind of is the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then if you'd have taken your advice that I just said about actually figuring out what they think, I mean, maybe we wouldn't be... We just fell in love though. So it's like we were like deeply in love. So it was quite hard to go back from that.
But what if...
But I'm not like severely not vegan. I just don't...
I don't think that's possible. I think you're either vegan or you're severely not vegan.
Yeah, but like if I was being actively... Like this question, your person that you're talking about might just be like quietly having their own political views. We don't know if they're getting drunk at your family dinner and raising their views at the table. I don't do that in terms of our thing. Mm-hmm. So it's okay, it's fine for us to live next to each other.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was like cooking steaks every night and being really in your face with like opposite to what you think, it wouldn't work. So it depends.
It's like, is your partner playing Nigel Farage speeches on YouTube every night?
And like saying stuff that you really disagree with like in front of your mates. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like making your life difficult, and is it like getting worse and worse, or do you feel like you could just park it? I do think, as we say this every time, we should probably discuss it. Yeah. But like it's really difficult we found it really difficult at times to discuss our views when they don't align. Mm-hmm. So I know that's like, probably you just don't want to ruin the bloody day. Like you're probably having a nice time. Yeah,
exactly. And it's like clashing isn't fun. And like if you know you're going to clash about something, you don't want to talk about it.
But this does seem like something. Yeah, I mean, she said recently she was thinking of voting Conservative at the next election. So it's like, it totally just depends. I mean, I don't think you can resolve this. They said, should we park it or resolve it? Maybe I'm being naive. Like, it sounds like you have different views. So
yeah, that's not something that gets resolved. No. It's something that you either come to terms with and learn to live harmoniously about, or you don't.
Because if you think about it like a diagram...
Go on.
Yeah, my maths GCSE. Like, I'm sure there's things that you both agree with, and if that chunk of things are the main things of life and moral agreements, then you're fine. But if that list is quite small and your other views are completely different, then the common ground's getting smaller and smaller, right? I feel like we have a lot of things in the middle that makes it okay that we aren't completely aligned in our views.
Agreed.
But yeah, we struggle with it. And I also think it's okay to not, like, the person that you're with can't fill every single box. And I do think that now we've got like Hinge and everyone writing don't date a Tory, like obviously whatever, but it's really hard to get someone that matches you completely. And I think it's okay that you're different. I think it's interesting, and it probably will reaffirm your views more having hard conversations. If we all agreed, it would be boring. Obviously you take that with a pinch of salt, but having somebody that you're with, like, we have really interesting conversations that I learn a lot from us disagreeing. And although you probably wish I was vegan 100%, like, it makes you, we're all different, and you have to be okay. Like, you'll learn a lot from it.
Yeah, agreed.
But saying that, you've got to think about if that's something that you want to, like, have in your life.
I think that's pretty well summed up.
I really spoke a lot with that question.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything else?
No,
Sorry.
no, I'm good.
Okay.
Two people who know nothing about politics talking about politics.
We managed to get through that.
Well done.
And I've not said anything about our views. Because we're going to leave that there. We're going to leave that there. Okay. Do you want to read the next one?
Sure. Thank you.
What time are we on? Should I look on the camera?
It's like
Okay.
35. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
How do you manage the freelance fear? I'm wanting to eventually leave my graphic design job to be a full-time illustrator, but that seems almost impossible. I will never make as much money as I do here. Thank you.
First of all, let's stop that mindset. I'll never make as much money as I do here.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
That's totally the opposite reason for why I quit my job. Is because I think I can make more money doing my thing. Wait, is that what they said?
Yeah, they said that they would never make more money, but I don't think you thought about money at all when you quit your job. What you do is purely not about money. It's become slightly more about money because now we have a mortgage and we have to pay it. But like,
are you joking?
Maybe
we need to cut this out.
It was never about money. No, this is an interesting conversation.
No, but I can make more money selling one print than working in a restaurant. What are you talking about?
That's bratty, yeah. But how hard is it for you to sell a print? When you started, how hard was it for you to sell a painting?
Okay. We're talking about now. I'm talking about now.
Yeah, but you've put 3 years and 5,000 followers into.
Yeah, but still, I think
it's been a hard graft. And it was a hard graft of scraping through with no money for a long time.
Yeah, no, I still feel like that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in terms of working for yourself, doing a job for a big company and then doing it being freelance is incomparable.
The opportunities to make money are completely endless, basically.
Basically, what I was saying was my hourly rate when I worked in a pizza place to now is totally... You can't... It's like...
So
there's no lid on it.
This person is a graphic designer, so they may be being paid well.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
Okay, yeah.
So
did I sound bratty then?
Nah. No, not at all. But I think maybe we just were looking at it in different ways.
Obviously,
but I think it's important to acknowledge that they're right. That
and at the beginning you won't make as much money as you do now.
Well, unless you
have really good connections.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And
it's
it
like
takes off straight away.
You can plan it well. Whereas you were working in a pizza shop, and we kind of said, "Don't do that anymore. You should do art."
And then it kind of went down, and then it's
Yeah. And now it's like that was a good move.
Yeah. So yeah, I do get what you're saying. I think that it's quite irresponsible for me to be like, quit your job and do your thing. Like, we don't know what your financial situation is. You might have a flat or a house that you live in that matches your salary that you won't be able to afford. I lived at home when I started my business, so it wasn't like a massive risk. It was just like, I need to keep making money so I can live. But it wasn't like, I wasn't having massive bills coming out every month, so that there wasn't that.
I feel like my situation is closer to what they're describing.
That's what I was thinking.
So
What would you say?
I had a full-time video job, and which I quit, like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Not really even that long ago. Like a couple of months ago, I finally took the plunge to be freelance because I was trying to squeeze in freelance work at the same time. And what I was realizing was I'm not putting myself in the right places to get the right work that I want to get because I have a full-time job, and it's just like not possible to do those things.
It was a restrictive like gate that you couldn't be free to like push it forward because you had those restraints.
But saying that, we like a couple of things aligned to make it seem like a good time to do it, right? A good time to potentially lose money, which at the moment I'm definitely doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we have to remember is like I was basically working 2 jobs, so I was still doing freelance work, just not exactly what I wanted to be doing.
Yeah, on the side,
and I was getting my
full-time salary. Yeah.
So now the salary's gone. So that was because
This basically is you.
Yeah. We've spoken about the flat a bit, but like we were renting. I bought somewhere really small, and we downsized and moved into that, and that's a lot cheaper. And that was kind of like one of the pushes.
But that wasn't our plan. That's another thing to say. We saw your situation, and then we're like, okay, we haven't sacrificed anything here. We still live in our big flat. We still have a huge flat. Like, we don't need this much space. You bought the flat to Airbnb. We weren't going to live in it. And then we were like, let's sacrifice space, downsize to take the pressure off you, especially.
So that
you could lose money for a bit.
Yeah.
Which
is like where I'm at the moment. But already like the work that I've taken on since I've been freelance has been cooler and more aligned with what I want to do. And also I like have time and I have the space to be working on getting the work that I want to get.
For sure. Like there was no time to feel motivated. Like you're probably at your job full-time graphic designer.
Yeah.
You get home and you're like, oh, I'll do a bit of like emails and try and connect with people, and it's just like you're not gonna
last thing you want to do.
You're too tired. Like it's tiring.
Yeah. And that sounds bratty because it's like fun to have a creative job anyway.
Yeah.
And then like saying that you don't want to go home and be creative.
But it's unrealistic. We're being realistic.
For me,
here.
it wasn't like doable. I was like scraping enough time to do more work, like to do extra freelance work, and then wasn't actually pushing towards what I wanted to do.
You were just taking the stuff that was coming in and doing your full-time job. There wasn't any planning or direction because it wasn't any time.
Exactly. So what this means now, when we go back to like money, because that's obviously like what it boils down to. That's the biggest like stumbling block, really, is like for me, for our situation.
Yeah.
It's almost like if we sacrifice a bit now because we're in a good position to do that. We don't have any kids. The mortgage is cheap. And if for the next year I push to get work that I want to be getting that is just better paid, then it will make sense.
Then it's worth it.
Then it's worth it.
What I said at the beginning, just looping back, is like what I meant by that was you're taking off the cap to make more money. Yeah. Everyone who has their own business or takes that plunge, eventually you will oversee what you're making now. You just will. Like, that's the goal, and that's what everybody does achieve if you keep going with it.
Yeah.
But it won't be straight away. That's what I meant to say. It's like, it's satisfying because you're like, I'm actually putting money in my own pocket now. But you have to be in a situation to take that plunge. And before, when we lived in that other flat, just going back to our example, like we weren't. It was too tight.
Yeah.
And we've loosened it, and we've gone, we don't have a big back garden anymore. We got rid of all these things, but we now can spend time building so that one day we can have an even bigger garden. Whereas what I think you fall into the trap with, which is another great option, I'm not saying having a contracted job and a salary for working for someone else isn't a good option. You get that guarantee and you can move up, but there's that cap on it unless you take over the company.
Well, yeah, you're never going to own the company.
No.
So you're never going to actually see any of the profits that come from the company.
No.
You're always going to be salaried on a set
Yeah.
amount.
And that one day when you get an illustrative freelance job, that you see that big price that you've quoted and you get it, you'll be like, I would never have made this at my old job. Like, there will be that moment where you'll feel like it was a good move, but I think you've got to be prepared to take the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And it's stressful. Like, we have this all the time, the anxiety of like, am I going to get another job next month to pay all my bills? Like, there's no guarantee. So, and also, sorry, one other thing, when we were talking about you quitting your job, it felt right. Like, it felt like the right moment. 5 months before that, we were like, do you think you should do it? I don't really know. And it didn't feel like,
Yeah.
so I feel like you will know.
Yeah, that's true. Like, we
did wait.
There's like never the perfect time,
No,
but we did hold off until it was like, let's do it
easier.
now. Let's do it now.
It didn't feel like the right moment to do it before.
No.
Which, I don't know what your situation is, but like, I think you'll know. You'll either be like emotionally checked out, which is quite a good time. You might have a different living opportunity, or things might shift around and it might be the right time too. Life's only getting more expensive, so like, don't worry about that, but you've got to take the plunge, I think.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, and I would say I'm overall happier and feel freer.
Yeah.
It just comes with different stresses and worries, doesn't it? But like, at least we know that we're pushing towards
Something else.
something for ourselves that we care about, you know.
Proud of you for doing that.
Thanks, mate. I'm thankful for you for being by my side the whole time, because I wouldn't be able to do it without you.
I wouldn't be able to do a lot of things without you.
Ah, sick. Great.
Love you.
Thanks. Get off me.
Should we leave it there?
Yeah.
Let's leave it there.
Cool. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for writing in and listening.
Share this with your mates, please.
We've been getting more shares after we did that little thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Chuck this around. Watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on Spotify. Ask us more questions. Link in the bio on Instagram to ask anonymous questions. And maybe we could be discussing your love, work, health life.
Live, love, love.
Live, love, love.
Bye.
Love ya.